Hi guys, welcome to our
Hello,
channel. My channel. I'm
hello.
saying our channel. Okay, so we're going to tell you a story about what happened to us, our travel story, right?
It's crazy, I can tell you that.
Okay, so what happened was that I think was it 2 months ago or a month ago we
Like
booked our
one
flights.
month ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
we booked our flights, right? And when we were booking flights, we had options: choose the best flight or the cheapest flight. So guess what option we chose?
Cheap.
So the cheapest flights were self transfer, right? So I think we didn't really understand what self transfer is. We were just like, we're just gonna be in the transit area in the airport and then just check in ourselves, right?
That's how it was for me most of the time when I had like self transfer flights.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
normally now we know it means that you have to like get out of the airport, like of the gate area,
yeah,
and check in at the normal check in
yeah.
spots.
So it's like when you get into that country, it's like you have arrived in that country, and then you go to the arrivals and then go to check in again, for another flight. So we're like, we're adults, we have hours in between, so we'll be able to do that. So the flights that we booked went from Taipei to Bangkok, from Bangkok to Mumbai, Mumbai to Zanzibar, right?
No.
No, Mumbai to Addis Ababa,
Yeah.
Addis Ababa to Zanzibar. So,
And our end destination is Zanzibar if you don't know yet.
okay, at this point, yes, our destination was Zanzibar, is Zanzibar, I guess. So yeah, we're excited. We booked our flights. We're so happy. We're like, okay, now today is the day. Let's go to the airport. We're so happy going to the airport and everything. We get to the airport. I just had this feeling. Remember,
She
like
she was nervous the whole time,
I
not just
was,
at the airport.
yeah, like
She
on
was
the
nervous.
way, I was just nervous. I was just like, just something just didn't sit right. I just didn't know what it was. I thought it was because we were leaving Taiwan, and I just feel bad, or I don't know. But I just had this nervous feeling. So we get to the airport. We got there early, actually. We were
Very
so on
early,
time.
luckily.
Yeah, we were so on time. So we get there, we're checking in. And guys, I've never traveled with someone, so I didn't know we could check in together.
Yeah, I went to the check-in thing. Like we were like standing in line to check in, and
Yeah.
then when it was like our turn, I went to a check-in thing and I saw like Alice wasn't next to me. Like, where are you? She was still waiting for her next turn. I
Yeah.
was like, come, wait, come to me.
Yeah, like literally I've never traveled with someone like on a flight, right? I'm always alone. So I didn't know we could check in together. So we're there. He's checking our tickets. He has a look on his face. I'm just like, oh, here we go. He's like, let me see your passport. I give him my passport, and then he gave me this weird look. I'm like, maybe he wants my ARC. I give him my ARC. That's my Taiwanese residency certificate. So I give him that. So and then he's like, so you know how Taiwanese are polite, right? They start making this sound like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's you.
I
You
just
always
knew.
know something's wrong before
They
they
say
say it.
anything. They just start making that sound. So I just knew, oh, I'm in trouble. And I just thought it was me, because I'm just like, I'm the one with the passport, the weak passport. I'm in trouble.
It was only you
Yeah,
at that
at
point. It
that point,
was
it was
only you.
just me. So he starts explaining, like, because you're gonna change flights in Mumbai, that means you have to get out of the transit area and then check in again, like go through the arrivals and then check in,
That means you have to like basically enter the country.
Yeah. So because you have to enter the country, you need a visa. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't we think about this? Because I was just like, I didn't think we were going to leave the transit area, of the airport. But we had to because it was self transfer. When you travel with if you book your flight with one airline, they do all those things for you. But because we were changing airlines and self transfer, so those airlines were not working together. Yes, so the guy says we cannot check her in because once she gets to Mumbai, they're just gonna send her back to Taiwan. So it's like a waste of time. And I'm like, oh my god, my passport is a problem. I start blaming myself.
After he said no, we just went away from the check-in area, so I didn't check in,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we were thinking, what should we do? So we were like, okay, let's just buy a new ticket for you,
yeah.
and I'm gonna still take this flight. So we're not gonna fly together, I guess. But yeah, just book her new flight. So yeah.
Yeah, so we found flights for the same day. But the problem was, because it was the same day, we had to only pay at the airport, right? We couldn't
Yeah.
use our card to pay.
I don't know if that was the reason, but in the end we just couldn't pay online somehow. I don't know why, and it's weird because it was like on Ethiopian airline, but we couldn't pay
Yeah,
with card.
we
I don't know
couldn't
why.
pay with card. So that was a problem. So we were just like, okay, fine, let's find a flight for tomorrow. So we found a flight for the next day for me, and we managed to pay for it online.
So then it was my turn to check in. I was checking in. He was like, "Yeah, your passport, please." It was the same guy. So I gave him my passport, and he was like, "Okay, blah blah blah." And normally he should have given me two boarding cards, right? From for the
Yeah, two
two
boarding passes.
boarding passes for the two flights that I fly with the Thai via Jet Air, because you
Okay.
always get the two like the boarding passes from the airline you fly with. But he only gave me the one to Bangkok, and then he was like, "Yeah," and gave me a sticker that I put here, which said "Transfer Thailand." I was like, "What is this?" It was like, just when you arrive in Thailand, you just have to say, "Look, sticker here," and then they know what to do. They show you around and whatever. I was like, "But where's my second boarding card?" He was like, "Don't worry, don't worry. Just go to Thailand and they will show you."
All right. So he checks in, he goes and he boards the plane, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
say our goodbyes.
we say our goodbyes. I was so sad because I was so excited to travel with him.
Mm.
So we say our goodbyes. He goes, and I was just like, oh, at least he made it, you know.
Are vlogging. And then tell them what happened.
Life is so unfair, guys.
Oh, and Alice couldn't go back home because he was too far
Yeah.
from the airport, and it would have been a lot more expensive than just booking a like
I,
cheap hotel
yeah.
or a
So
hostel. So she went to a
so
hostel.
I went to a hostel, right? So remember we booked a flight for me for the next day. So I'm looking at my, you know how when you book a flight, you get like your travel information and stuff, right? So I'm looking at the travel information. I'm like, this is not a ticket, you know? I'm like, what's going on? This is not a ticket. And I'm like, maybe they're going to send a ticket later. Nothing, you know, hours go by. I'm like, no, something is wrong. So I start looking at the email over and over and over. And then I see somewhere it says, this flight hasn't been paid for yet. I'm like, what? We just paid for the flight, you know? So I was just so confused. I'm like, I need to reach Ethiopian Airlines. So I start messaging them on all social medias, guys. I think I messaged them on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything, but like I couldn't reach them. And then I saw that they have like a bot on Telegram. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use the bot. So I tried to live chat with an agent. They were taking so long to reply, you know. So I give them all the information, and then they tell me that, oh, actually, your first flight, the first leg of the flight has been cancelled, which was supposed to be from Taipei to South Korea. Yeah, so the first leg was Taipei to South Korea, and then I was supposed to take South Korea to Addis Ababa, and then Addis Ababa to Zanzibar. So they're like, the first leg was cancelled. So if that flight was cancelled, that means you cannot take any of the other flights. So you just have to book another flight, which would have been okay. But like, remember, he's in the air, and we used his card to pay for that flight. So I didn't know that the money was refunded already. I just thought the money wasn't refunded. So I'm like, oh my God, how much money are we gonna spend? You know, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and mine she couldn't like communicate with me because I was literally in the air and
Yeah, I
couldn't.
couldn't reach him. So I asked the guy, I'm like, so how can I like apply for a refund or something? He said the money should reflect in the account already, but if it hasn't, then ask your bank. And I didn't know if it reflected because remember the phone is with him, right? So I was like, "Ah, should I book another flight? Because at this point we're just wasting money. But I was just like, what other choice do I have? You know, if it's a refund, then we're gonna apply for a refund. You know, it's not our fault this time around. So I go ahead and just book another flight. And guess what, guys? This flight that I booked was like almost 15,000 cheaper or
Mhm.
10,000 cheaper than the flight we booked in the afternoon. So in the evening, I book another flight, and this one, all the information came, the ticket number came. So I was like, sure that okay, now I've booked a flight. And but I was still feeling bad, I was just like, oh, I hate that I need a visa almost everywhere I go and stuff like that. Like I was just so annoyed and
We're
feeling
like
bad.
really blaming her passport, her
Yeah.
Malawian passport. Like, oh,
So yeah, we were like blaming my passport, like, why is the Malawian passport so weak? I cannot go anywhere. Like I was just feeling so down, and I was feeling bad for him that he has to go through all these buying tickets again because of me, stuff like that. Little did I know.
little did we know.
So he gets to Bangkok, right?
At this point, she was having a bad time, of course, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't, we haven't. I wasn't having a good time either. We'll get to that right now. Tell them how you were.
Okay. So I'm there. I booked the flight. I'm just like, okay, we're gonna talk whenever we talk. And whenever you fly, you don't really connect to Wi-Fi, do you?
You know.
No, usually when he travels, he doesn't really connect to Wi-Fi and stuff, so it's hard to reach him. So I was just like, oh my god, I would never reach this guy until he arrives in Zanzibar, which will be almost a little bit too late. Little did I know, a few hours later, maybe like an hour later, he's gonna like call me because I sent him messages explaining everything. So he calls me. I'm thinking he wants to understand what's going on. So I started explaining. He's like, babe, wait. I'm stuck in Bangkok. I'm like, what? What do you mean you're stuck in Bangkok? What's going on? He's like,
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't let me on the flight. And I'm like, what?
Guess why? Because I need a visa for India.
Because he needs a
So I
visa.
arrived in Thailand, right? And I was sitting next to this Indian guy on the first flight from Taipei to Thailand. And this Indian guy was like going to Mumbai, of course. I was like, I knew already. Okay, he was probably going to Mumbai. And I just asked him out of curiosity. I was like, do you have both boarding cards, boarding passes? And he was like, yeah, yeah. Why? And I was like, I'm going to Mumbai too, but I only have one. He's like, what? Like, why? And then we just tried to find out. I told him what the guy at the thing in Taipei told me, and after that, I arrived in Thailand. I only have like 2 hours of time until on the flight to Mumbai, so I was running around. But the guy in Taipei told me, yeah, just tell someone, transfer, and they will know what to do. I was telling everyone. Everyone was like, "What? Okay, I don't care," you know. And I was like, "What do you mean?" Then I was like, I went to this information lady. Like I was wearing so many clothes because I like didn't want to put it in my bag because then my bag is too heavy and I have to pay for the bag. So I was running around and sweating so hard. And then I arrived at this information lady and she's like, "Oh, you have to check in again. Yeah, just go at the arrivals, like through the passport control and then check in on the fourth floor again." I'm like, oh my god, okay, I don't have a lot of time, so I just like go there to the passport control, like
And if you've been to Thailand, the lines are usually long.
yeah, the
Yeah,
line was
yeah.
like long, and I like kind of like sneak my way like in front of the people. I'm there. Finally, it's my turn, and then the girl is like, "How long you staying?" I'm like, 20 minutes maybe. Like, I just need to check in. She was like, "What?" I show her this transfer. She was like, "Oh, did you fill out the TDCA form or something like the
Yeah,
travel
arrival form before
arrival
you arrive
form?"
in Zanzibar, not Zanzibar,
Thailand.
Thailand. You need to
Thailand.
fill it
I'm like,
in.
no, I just need to check in. I don't want to stay here. I'm going to Mumbai. And then she was like, yeah, sorry, I can't let you in. I was like, I have to go to check in. She calls her supervisor. So she calls her supervisor, and he's like, no form, no entry. I'm like, I don't want to entry. I want to check in. And he was like, I don't care. And then he was like almost calling the security on me and stuff. So I went back. So I went to the information lady again. I was like, oh my god, I can't get inside. I just need to check in. I need to go to Mumbai. She was like, oh, you have the transfer thing. I'm like, yes, I had it on the whole time. What do you mean? And then she was like, oh, just go to the Thai Vietjet Air station, like inside of the gates. So I went there, and the girl there was like, she was trying to help me. She was like, yeah, it's okay. I don't know why you don't have your boarding pass. It's okay. Just give me your passport. I'll give her my passport, and she's like, and can you give me please the visa for India? I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you have to enter, for checking again. You did the visa, of course, right? I'm like, no. She's like, oh no. I'm like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. She's like, oh, sir, I have to say to you, you cannot fly to Mumbai if you don't have the visa, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me figure it out in Mumbai, you know. Just let me go to Mumbai, please, you know. Like I only have 1 more hour or something.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I really can't, you know. And then I just had to accept it that like I couldn't fly to Mumbai. So her passport wasn't even the problem. I have no idea why a guy in Taipei let
Let
me
you
on
on
the
the
flight and
flight.
her not. You know,
Yeah.
maybe he's raised. Well, he didn't seem like he's racist.
No, I
It's
think
just
he just
weird.
didn't care because of your passport.
Maybe he was like America. It's
It's like
okay.
America should be fine, right?
Yeah,
Because he has an American passport. So he thought it would be fine. And with my Malawian passport, they always double check to make sure, everywhere I go, they always
yeah,
double check. Even going to Tanzania, they double check. So,
yeah. So so then I just gave up. I'm like I just sit down in the middle of the thing and just think about like, oh my god,
yeah,
this cannot be happening. I have to buy one more ticket, you know. And mine, I didn't know that like her ticket didn't work, the one we
yeah,
bought.
yeah, yeah.
And then I just filled out that arrival forms in Thailand, so I entered the country. They were like, "Hey, where are you staying?" I like, I don't know, I don't know, in the airport or something. They were like, "Whatever, just go inside." So I go into Thailand, into the airport, and then I just wanted to like book a new flight. Guess what? I couldn't connect to the internet for whatever reason. I tried like at least half an hour. I lost like 40% of battery only trying to connect to the Wi-Fi, and then it didn't work. And then I finally find a Wi-Fi lady. Like that was literally her job to connect phones to the Wi-Fi. So I went to her, and she was like, "Oh, this is weird. It's not working. This is not working." So she gave me her hotspot. So she gave me her hotspot, so I booked a new flight with Ethiopian airline. Guess what? I couldn't pay online. I couldn't pay online. Then I was like to that one guy who works there. I was like, do they have a station here where I can like go and pay? She was like, yeah, yeah, there, but they only start working at 10 p.m. It was like 9:20 p.m. or something like that. So I go to the station, wait around until 10. Then I go there. Finally, I just waited around for like 40 minutes. At least I ate something. The best toasties, from 7-Eleven or in Thailand, by the way. I ate those. So I go there. I was the first in line because I was waiting there for like half an hour. I talked with the lady, and she was like, um, "So you cannot pay yet because the flight is fully booked, and you just have to wait until last minute, because the flight would be like at 1 a.m. You have to wait like until like 12 p.m. Maybe people don't go on the flight, then you can go." I'm like, that's not gonna work, I
I
need I
need to
need I
know.
need to go. I need to know.
Yeah.
And then I went back to the Wi-Fi lady. Guess what? Her shift ended. I'm like, oh my god, it cannot be happening. Like you need Wi-Fi again to book internet. I didn't know what to do anymore, so I just went to Emirates because Emirates is such a good
Airline.
airline. So I was hoping that the people that work for it were like really nice. So I went there. No one was there because no one was checking in. It was like, I don't know, like 11 or 12 p.m. And then I went to this lovely lady, and she was like, I just told her, please help me. Like, I'm losing my mind. I have no Wi-Fi, and can I just buy a ticket with you to Zanzibar, or something? Then she was like, give me your phone. She took my phone. She just like restarted my phone and then connected it to the Wi-Fi, and it worked. So the Wi-Fi lady couldn't do it,
I
but
think
like
this was
she
like a
she did.
sign to go with Emirates.
Huh?
I think it was your sign to go with
Yeah.
Emirates.
And then I saw I was booking the flight, like the one of the cheapest flights was with Emirates. So I booked it immediately, and guess what? It worked. It fucking worked. But it was at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And at this
The
point, it
next
wasn't
day.
even like the day when I'm flying. It was like 11:30 p.m. or something. So I found a locker. I informed Alice about this like when I got the internet first, before I even booked
Yeah.
the first Ethiopian Air flight.
She was telling, I mean, he was telling me everything that was going on, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was just there anxious. But at this point, he had already told me that the money was refunded.
Yeah, yeah. At least the money
So,
was immediately refunded, so
refunded.
that was
So,
that was
that
a
was good.
blessing
That was a
in
blessing.
the
I was like, oh,
yeah.
thank God. That means we didn't waste money.
Hmm.
I mean, we still wasted money, but
Oh
like
yeah, we did.
with the that flight, that means we didn't waste money. The money was sent back.
Yeah,
So at least I
immediately.
was at peace knowing that. But I just needed to know that he was gonna get a flight because we need to come to Zanzibar. We don't want to waste any days because we already booked stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
what happened next?
So I had like 9 or 10 hours in Thailand. So I just found a locker, put my bags there, and just went out to Bangkok and met some friends. I was in Thailand in January, so I made some friends in Bangkok. So I just went to visit them, had some fun, then got back and got on my flights. Everything went well, and that was my first time flying with an airplane that was 2 stories. That was
Like two,
crazy. Yeah,
like a double decker.
yeah, like a big Emirates one. And it
Yeah.
flew. By the way, it flew from Thailand to Dubai. Oh, I had to wait like 12 hours in Dubai,
You had
by
to
the way.
wait
The
12
layover
hours.
is
The
12.
layover was
But
so
it was a
long.
self check in at least, a self transfer. So I got all the boarding cards immediately. But 12 hours in Dubai, and in Dubai, internet wasn't working either. Now I know why. It's because of my VPN, because I changed my VPN
On
so I
his
cannot
phone.
connect to internet. I didn't know that then.
Yeah.
So I was in Dubai 12 hour long, and I'm so happy that I had like this bouncy ball because I was playing with it for like 10 hours.
He was playing with the bouncy boy in the airport. So sometimes he'd call me because remember I'm in Taiwan and like I'm waiting for the next day because my flight was the next day in the evening. So I had so many hours, free. So he would call me sometimes and he's on the airport floor. He's
I'm
looking so
just
exhausted. He's on the floor just lying down. I'm like, every time you go to the airport, there's always this one crazy guy like lying on the floor and stuff. I think he was that crazy
it
guy.
was me this time. Now I have more understanding for these crazy people. They probably go through a lot.
Yeah. So with me, we booked the other flight, so I think everything was fine. But I was still nervous because I was just anxious because we just had a stressful day, both of us. So I go to the airport the next day. I vlogged this part, so you're gonna watch it. But like I go and I check in, everything went smoothly. I'm like, this is why we should have paid for an expensive flight, the best flight, because everything just went smoothly.
Yeah,
Like
just like
the
with my Emirates one.
Yeah, so when I was like checking in, they were just like, "Do you need a visa to Tanzania?" I'm like, "No, no." They were like, "Oh, but you need return flights, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have them. I just don't have the information right now because I booked it with him and he had the information." So I just told him that I don't have information right now, but I'm gonna get it like a few hours later. So she's like, "Oh, that's fine." And then she checks me in, and she couldn't give me the boarding pass to go from Hong Kong to Addis Ababa. So she just gave me that sticker, that shows transit, that says transit, right?
The one I had.
The one he had. So you see now the difference is that because I had that sticker, right? The moment I got on the plane to Hong Kong, the moment I got out of the plane in Hong Kong, just walked into the airport, there was a lady waiting for me with my boarding pass.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Privilege.
So she gives me the boarding pass, and I was in Hong Kong for 4 hours just walking around and stuff. But you're gonna see this in the vlog. So yeah, that was a
I
crazy
haven't seen it
travel.
even yet.
Yeah,
What she did. So I'm
yeah.
gonna be surprised as well.
But I didn't vlog much though because I was just
Yeah.
tired. So that was a crazy 48 hours, guys. We had a crazy 48
It didn't
hours.
end yet for me.
Yeah, for you
Didn't
it
end yet
didn't
for
end.
me. I arrived in Zanzibar finally. Like
Yeah.
we both arrived a day later than we should have arrived. I arrived in Zanzibar, but like around 7 or 8 hours before she did. So I arrived at Zanzibar and I like try to find out like because we didn't even know how far our hotel is from the airport,
Which
right?
we should have known.
So it's like 2 hours, right? Two
Wait, wait.
hours, and
Yeah.
so the our hotel from Zanzibar airport is like 2 hours,
It's 2 hours away.
2 hours away with car. And it's not cheap. It's like $30 for one transit.
Mm.
So I was like, should I just wait for her? Should I wait for her or because I don't want her to arrive here and go through the same things that I did, like find a driver who doesn't want to like to bargain. I had to bargain a lot to get it down to the price that we had it.
Yeah, and if you know me, I don't have any bargaining skills. I would
Yeah.
have just paid whatever amount they told me.
So I was in Zanzibar. I found a driver at like I arrived at 4 a.m. in Zanzibar. By the way, so it was dark. So I arrived in Zanzibar. Found a driver. I shook hands with him. I didn't remember his face. So then I was talking to another driver. Whatever. It's like a long story. Long story short, I just waited for like 7 hours at Zanzibar airport for her. And yesterday I was talking with my friend here in the hotel already. and we like calculated how many hours in total I just waited.
Just waited for flights, waited for me,
Yeah,
just
not even
waiting.
flying, just waiting. 27 hours, just waiting, just wait, not sleeping, just
Just
waiting,
waiting.
playing with the ball without internet. By the way, like of those 27 hours, I had internet maybe like 4 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So we spent a
when
lot
she
of time
arrived,
there.
oh my god, I couldn't believe it, man.
We were so happy when we both arrived. Like when we saw each other, it's almost like we haven't seen each other in months. We're
Yeah,
so happy because, oh my god, at some point I thought we're not going to Zanzibar. At
yeah.
this point, let me just go back to work. Because guys, I know we've explained the story, but it was way more stressful than it is
Yeah,
now. Finding flights, finding flights on the same day is like crazy insane, and they're usually so expensive, right? So we're even lucky to find the flights that we found that were, I think they were almost the same price as
yeah. It
the
wasn't even
first
that. Yeah, yeah,
flights
it
that
wasn't
were,
even that more expensive.
yeah,
These are like. By the way, just information for you guys. If you don't book a lot of flights, it's cheap when you like book them a long time before or like last minute. Then it's like cheap.
yeah,
But if you book it like a week before or something, then it's gonna be expensive. But if you book it on the same day, you're probably gonna find cheap ones because they wanna like sell like every seat they can.
yeah. So, but like it has to be last minute. Sometimes it can be maybe like a little bit expensive sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, we booked our flights, but so basically the first flights that we booked like a month ago were basically
gone for nothing. I
just
mean, I went to
useless.
Thailand at
At least he
least.
went to Bangkok. We went in Bangkok, Bangkok City. He
Yeah.
like just did some stuff there and stuff. So at least he used his flight. Mine, I didn't use at all. I just wasted that money. But now at least we know no self transfer ever, ever. I'm not gonna do that ever.
Or just check the visas.
Oh, check visas, but like I don't even think it's worth it at
You
this
know.
point. Just
Uh,
get the best flight. Don't go for the cheapest one unless the cheapest one
it's like really.
doesn't need self transfer.
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't my first self-transfer flight, but this was definitely the worst, like with the most problems
When I
flying.
checked countries that don't need visas for India, there are like 10 countries. Like almost everyone needs a visa for India. Everybody needs a visa to India, which is fine. I guess now we know. By the way, guys, if I sound sick, it's because I'm sick. Okay, not like sick. It's just that whenever I fly long flights, I don't know if it's the smells or the people, the air. I don't know. I just get a little cold. Not super sick, but I get over it quickly. So yeah, that's why I sound weird. But yeah, guys, we made it to Zanzibar. So we're gonna be in Zanzibar for a while, and then we're going somewhere else. Can you guess where we're going next? Please. Okay.